Welcome back. It's time for us to look at the connection events here. So, let's start with Swin and basketball. I heard Swin wants to give basketball a try. Maybe I'll join him. Apparently, watching people play reminds him of when he went undercover at Aramis. Kevin's group decided to take a short break. Everyone split up so they could spend their free time as they pleased. What's up? You like basketball? Not exactly. Just reminiscing, I guess. I played some basketball not too long ago. He must be thinking about when he infiltrated the academy. Back in the capital a few months ago. So that's how it is. But there's no point in practicing my shots alone. I'll play some other... Hold on now. What if I joined you? I'm confident in the rules, at least. You don't mind? Just so happens I'm in the mood for a little exercise. Besides, this is a good chance to get to know you a little better. Well, if that's the case, then let's play. That was it? Jeez, you're pretty good. Made it sound like you only knew the rules. Ain't bad, it's not like I've ever played for real. Maybe things are different now. Basketball wasn't really a thing when I grew up. In some remote place, right? Hence the dialect? Nah, I was born and raised in Emerald City, one of the free cities. As for my dialect, well, my mom was from way out in the sticks. See, guess you've been through a lot too. So tell me, are you thinking about your time back at the academy? Yeah, I guess so. Wasn't for very long, but I did get a glimpse of what it was like to be a normal teen. Didn't honestly think I'd ever get to experience something like that again. Not after everything I've done. All the more reason to treasure those memories. You guys still have your futures ahead of you. I'm sure the time you spent at the academy will prove valuable going forward. You don't have to tell me twice. Nadia and I are going to carve out our own future. No more hesitation. Why the sudden interest? You're being strangely nice. Am I? Certainly not my intention. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what you've been through. But I guess I have a hard time feeling like we're strangers when I think about the life you've lived. I see. Nadia did tell me about how he became a Dominion. I made a mistake that cost me someone dear to me. Never have been able to make it up to their family. Then I chose a path that would dirty my hands. Guess you're different from me, though. You managed to make it up to her. I get it now. He's just like me. Which is why I don't want you to have the same regrets that I do. It's about the whole of it. Though I suppose it ain't any of my business. Don't worry, I get what you're trying to say. Thanks for looking out for me. But you don't have to worry. I'm not letting go of the path I chose. Glad to hear it. You got a strength I don't. I doubt you'll ever lose it. I'd say we cut this break short and head back. What? You got changed.
Hey, can I ask you something? Your partner forgave you, and you even found a way forward all your own. Why try and throw it all away now?
Musing. I'm not throwing away anything. I just have to be who I was for this mission. Temporarily. Once I wrap things up here, eventually I'll be back to...
No, you know it doesn't work like that. You know these things aren't just temporary.
Yeah, it's that case of... What about the next time you're being like, oh, I'll just do it for now. And again for now. And again for now, it's like, Kevin, come on.
Don't tell me. The reason you're looking out for me, the reason you're respecting our oath is...
I haven't lied, Swin. I've got no ulterior motives behind what I've said. Maybe you're right. But things won't just go back to how they used to be, depending on how this goes. But for me, getting back to how things were is part of my mission. Not that it's something you have to worry about.
Is that so? Then I guess I'll take your considerations to heart, if nothing else.
Sure. Works for me. Took his jacket off again.
Maybe it's a little late for me to say this, but I get the feeling that you and I can come to understand each other.
Well, I don't see why not. But there are still things that neither of us can afford to back down on. As long as you're fine with that, then I'll be glad to have you.
Yeah. Likewise, Kevin.
And so, after rediscovering the things they had in common, Kevin and Swin returned to patrolling Tharbad. Alright, so that was a very quick one. On to the next connection event! So, following up from that, I think it's probably best we do Hidden Weapons versus Heretic Hunter. Nadia asked me to train her in the use of concealed weapons. Should I do it? Yes. Kevin's group decided to take a short break. Everyone split up so they could spend their free time as they pleased. Huh? You want me, the Heretic Hunter, to coach you on how to use concealed weapons? Exactly. I mean, sure, you're the Heretic Hunter again now, but when you think about it, you made a decision to put that life away just like us. I guess so. Could say I'm sort of a trendsetter? Nah, you get it. I figured maybe you could teach me a thing or two about non-lethal application of concealed weapons. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't want to see some of your garden techniques too. Alright, fine. I can run you through the basics. To start with, where do you hide those needles of yours? Usually in my sleeves. That way, when I need to use them, I can just slip them right out. And if I need to be extra stealthy, I hide them inside of Bat and Bear. Gotcha. You got the right idea, but remember, metal detectors are pretty common these days. And there are people who will inspect your bear the second they see it. It's the perfect place to hide stuff after all. That's why I do this. Wait, where'd that come from? You don't want to know. I hide it in my belt. Oh. It's an ultra-thin dagger made of a special metal. You could say I was inspired by the a whip-like sword from the southeast. Since it's thin and flexible, I can hide it in the leather of my belt without poking myself. But that doesn't mean it isn't sharp. Plus, if someone catches it with a metal detector, they'll just think it's part of the belt. Wow. Didn't see that coming. Figured you just hid your weapons in your shoes or something? Now, let's see what you'd do if you were passing your target on the street. Okay, I'm a pro at that. Exactly what I expected. That'd get a normal person just fine. But you have to get into the range to do it, which means if the other person is faster than you, this'll happen. You're right, I didn't think about that. I guess I've never used this sort of technique on someone skilled. Then should I wait until I've gone past them and then throw a needle behind me? They're pretty heavy, so they're quite powerful. And if I put some poison on them, it'd be more than enough to take someone down. We're still talking about non-lethal techniques, right? Either way, it wouldn't work. Someone skilled would sense your bloodlust and dodge immediately. Here's an idea. You use thread, right, Nadia? Yep, to seal my opponent's movement. And maybe you could attach your thread to your needles before you throw them. Or you could set up a bunch of thread ahead of time and aim to graze them with your weapons. You'd be able to adjust your needle's trajectory in midair, and even a skilled opponent would have trouble keeping track of their movement. Oh wow! Mixture of techniques, huh? I'm into that kind of thing. I met a maiden crossbow with a similar style of fighting. Think I could maybe pull it off? Yeah. It won't be easy, but if I can use both needles and thread simultaneously, the effort will be worth it. And so the pair continued their special training. Kevin revealed several methods of concealing weapons to Nadia, and he was also able to use several of Nadia's techniques as a point of reference for himself. Boy, I definitely got a lot out of that. You haven't lost your touch, Mr. Heretic Hunter? If I had, I wouldn't have come back. The power to hunt and the power to protect are two sides of the same coin, which is why I've never disregarded my old techniques, even though I'm known as the Thousand-Hand Guardian these days. Is that so? I guess it's good to know that our past experience won't go to waste. No, I do gotta wonder, why do you feel so guilty about going back? What are you talking about? I mean, you didn't even tell that gluttonous sister where you were going when you left. Couldn't you have just been honest with her? Jeez, just how much do you know? Oh, I was right. Honestly, I thought I'd just make some guesses based on how you were acting and see what came loose. I can never tell when you're lying. Not hiding anything from Reese. And then this job's done, I'm gonna tell her everything. It's just, if I told her beforehand, she'd try to go down this path with me. She already saved me from the past once. I won't put her through it again. So I'll wait until I'm the Thousand-Hand Guardian again, things have calmed down, and then I'll... Boo! Wrong answer. You underestimate a woman's heart. Go down this path with you. Have you ever considered that there's more than one way to do that? No way that someone who saved you from the abyss is simple-minded. I mean, it's hard to know without actually talking to her, but I bet she could stay at your side without succumbing to the darkness. You might be surprised at her strength and flexibility.
I guess you're probably right now that I think about it. In the end, I'm just pulling the same crap here that I did to her back in Phantasma, aren't I?
Yes, you are, Kevin.
I know she's not weak or naive. She could have handled this. Man, she ain't gonna be happy when I get back and tell her.
Oh no, oh no.
Great, it's just like I thought. I'm glad you finally figured things out. Be honest and apologize. Oh, and make sure to get her something good to eat, too.
Yeah. I never am gonna understand a woman's heart, am I?
Maybe not. But that doesn't mean she's not hoping for you to make at least a little progress. Opportunity knocks, so why not take this chance to show her she can put some faith in you for once?
Hey, just how much do you know? And what's that got to do with what we were talking about?
Nadia continued to mock Kevin. Afterwards, he re-examined his own determination and mental state. Once Nadia was satisfied with her techniques, the pair met back up with the rest of their group to resume their patrol.
Alright, now that I've gotten a glimpse of Onion Priest's resolve, we're going to hang with him until the end, no matter how things turn out.
Oh, I expected there to be a little bit more there, like maybe she was actually in contact with Reese. Maybe. Right, so let's see what we got here. 45
That's
gifts
the
given.
way it goes.
Oh. So I got that one as a result of it as well.
That's the way it goes.
30 drivers gained. To do.
Oh?
Next one.
What will you do from here?
Full of energy drink. Lapis wants to know what the energy drink from the movie collab event tastes like. Rufus said he's going to get some free samples with her. I've got a bad feeling about this. Kevin's group decided to take a short break. Everyone split up so they could spend their free time as they pleased. Wow, so this is maximum energy? Wonder what it tastes like. I hope you'll check out Perfect Driver Zero too, young lady. Make sure not to drink too much of that. It's loaded with caffeine. Maybe I'm in no position to ask since I just tagged along, but is this really okay to drink? You know, for a kid. Young though she may be, she is also a Rosenberg doll. She may find the ingredients to be stimulating, but she should have no trouble neutralizing the effects. Probably. Shouldn't you be sure? What are you two yapping about? Let's hurry up and try it. Cheers, gulp. And gulp indeed. Oh my. I've never tasted anything like this before. After the initial piercing flavor, sugar and citrus race through the mouth. I could see this serving as a good mixture of alcohol. Yeah, I'm surprised you enjoyed it. I'll say, I definitely feel more awake after taking a sip. This stuff's loaded with caffeine, so you definitely gotta be careful not to drink too much. What do you think, Lapis? What? Lapis?
Would you pipe down, Onion Priest? Who do you think you are, speaking to me as an equal?
Oh dear. Lapis?
What is this wondrous mixture? It's ever so delectable.
Okay, so does caffeine make her drunk then?
One could say this beverage is perfectly suited to such a noble Rosenberg doll as myself.
What happened to your eyes?
Attend me, peasant. I demand more.
Peasant? What's your deal, young lady? Please calm down. What the hell is going on? Her arrogant tone. It somewhat resembles the way she spoke when she was Altera 4 months ago. Saw that name in the files. Her body has maintained standard mobility even after absorbing the caffeine. However, it may not have accounted for the arginine in the beverage. Arginine? The data of her past arrogant personality appears to have been brought to the forefront by her body's processing of the chemical. Are you kidding me? How can you be so calm? Are we gonna be okay? Well, as far as I can tell, she still seems to be Lapis at her core. As long as she can recover from this state of intoxication. Rufus, what are you standing around for? I demand more energy drinks. Negotiate with these men and make them hand over everything at once. As you wish, my lady. Wait, now you're a butler? Kevin continued to chide Rufus, even as he managed to lead Lapis away from the stand. Then they had to watch over her until her body began to naturally break up the arginine. Arginine, maybe? This feels amazing. This pool really is without equal. Why is my wallet the one that has to suffer? My apologies. Please consider this one of your business expenses. You're a cunning bastard. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. What is the matter with this slot machine? Why won't it allow me to win? Fine, I'll do this my way. Uh-oh. Look, Rufus. Now all of our money problems have been solved. You hacked it. I say, I never considered this option. I'm sure Nutty will be quite pleased. Okay, stop. The security's giving us the stink eye. Just leave everything here and let's scram. Oh dear. It's taking its time, isn't it? I shall acquire all the tasty delicacies in this bazaar. I am feeling rather parched after eating those kebabs. It's time for another energy drink. How about we try some of that cold tea from the food truck over there instead? Oh, a most fabulous idea. Hurry and buy some for me. Oh my gosh, that girl is so cute. Do you think she's from some rich family like? That guy who's with her in the sunglasses is such a hottie. Excuse me, sir, but who are they? Would they be interested in debuting as actors? Sorry, but they're not interested. We're sticking out like sore thumbs. She's just having a nap now. She's finally calmed down. Her body is likely in the final stages of processing the arginine. Rosenberg technology truly is astounding. Don't think I've forgotten how you left all the annoying stuff to me. I'm grateful, Kevin. As I am but an attendant at the end of the day, it can be difficult for me to act against the will of my mistress. I'm starting to feel bad for Swin and Nadia. First, thanks for everything. Nadia and Swin, too. He really loves you guys, huh? I can't say I understand how your relationship works. You got a once heinous criminal of the Empire, 2 ex-garden assassins, and the product of an aberrant singularity. Each one of you is practically a heretic, and yet you've gotten together like it's no big deal. Indeed, 2.5 years ago I could not have foreseen the path I'd walk. I lost my position, my home, and even my nation. Even so, I am quite fond of what I have now. This life I have made for myself after the Crossbell incident. Or should I say, this life I've stumbled into. I suspect she feels the same way. And now she is once again trying to change, to grow. Discover what her heart truly wants. Hey Rufus, are you sure you really want to let her dirty her hands with all this? One of her friends is closely connected to our target. There's no telling how this could corrupt Lapis. Lead her away from the girl she's trying to become. You'll want to talk, aren't you? A job is a job. We do not intend to neglect our obligations.
I will do what must be done with no hesitation. I am Rufus Alberea, after all. And as she is not human, she will have no problem completing this job either. My opinion on that front remains unchanged. However, I am but her attendant. And as such, my duty is to follow her orders. You would do well to keep that in mind.
So you're saying you might back out if Lapis changes her mind? Huh, you sure are a pain in the neck. True, but I'm afraid you have me beat in that regard. You keep going out of your way to worry about us dirtying our hands, all while you struggle to choke down the thought of doing so yourself. He got you there! Oh, whatever. It's fine. You only ever been tools for me from the get-go. So I'll use you however I need in order to complete my mission.
Do as you see fit.
Rufus? Kevin? Huh? What was I doing?
Ah, you had quite the adventure.
Good morning. I'm hungry.
Finally back in the land of the living, huh? Not that Altera wasn't entertaining.
Then you may be glad to hear. I backed up her personality data from earlier to a holo, just for caution's sake. Now we will be able to use it going forward.
Just when did you have the time to do something like that? You're too damn sly.
Lapis, having blown off some steam by going on something of a rampage, simply shrugged. And then the trio met up with their friends to resume work. Altera obtained. Was it Altera? Try to remember. We'll have a look in a moment. Okay, equipment, no. Augment. Arts. That's not what I want, is it? Custom? No? Where am I going?
You may leave this to me.
Holocore, there we are. Altera, yeah, there we are. Okay. I like it to say that. An alternate persona of Lapis brought out by energy drinks. Broadly enhances both general abilities and one's trump card. Cast time and post delay. Down by 0.2. As a command. Okay. Who could that be good for? I might actually change that to you. Because we've got Cecilia at the moment.
Carmine Altera. The honor is all yours, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, quite.
This is nothing for me.
Oh dear, oh dear. Have we got anything better here I want to have, actually? Might be worth getting that in, to be honest.
Arts Arsenal updated.
Swap it out. Having the Cetus Phantasma is always nice. Always nice. Right, let's see about some key events around the place then. Okay, there we go. You came. Sorry to call you guys all the way here. It was no big deal, just wondering why you asked to meet us at a train station of all places. Leaving Tharbad, are you? That's right. Finished up what I was doing here for a client of mine, so now I'm off. Specifically to somewhere around the capital. Anyway, sorry to do this on our way out, but we got info on that request you made yesterday. And the thing you asked about at the club. So you two ran into each other, huh? Bet that must have been a hoot. Why were you talking business at a strip club? Because dirty old men will be dirty old men. I'm not old. Oh, come on, you're not even that much younger than I am. We could be siblings. Why does being referred to as old bother you so much? Perhaps because our friend here is on the cusp of what they call a midlife crisis. Look who's talking, Mr. 32. Whoa, can't believe you guys actually found anything. Rumors, gossip, whispers on the wind. That's what you were asking around about, right? Along with some stuff about Vegas Films and their little festival last year, yeah. There's one story that stuck out to me in particular, though. It just so happens to be about a certain irrigation project. Oh. Does this story involve the so-called hocus pocus? In a way, yeah. See, according to our sources, Professor Hamilton came to Tharbad with a bunch of laborers 20 years ago to take a look at the oasis. We knew that much, Apparently, they were able to determine pretty quickly what was causing it to dry up, were they? So they managed to pinpoint the source of the problem to somewhere out in the desert. And before anyone knew it, there was water in the oasis again. It's like there was never a problem in the first place. Everyone we talked to was at the site 20 years ago, and they all said the exact same thing. It was like magic. Magic, huh? So we were right to ask about hocus pocus. But aren't those people in the Empire who can use magic? Indeed, there are witches, they're called. I'm unsure if the professor shares their blood, however. Doubt it. I'm not surprised witnessing a miracle like that had people wondering. Especially not when nobody seems to know how she pulled it off. Apparently, the professor came back to check on the oasis status pretty regularly. But we weren't able to find anyone who could say they've seen maintenance workers or other laborers heading into the desert recently. Honestly, felt like the more we looked into her and what she was doing, the more interesting things got. Yes, I imagine so. Thanks, guys. Can't believe how much we were able to find in a single night. This stuff should give us a better perspective on what exactly Arkwright was dealing with in Tharbad last year too. Well, he weren't the only one who looked out here. Also found a few extra tidbits of info for ourselves. Should make a nice souvenir for a friend of ours. Anyway, think that data will give you enough to work off now? So you can find your target, I mean? Figured you two would put the pieces together. Doesn't sound like you're too sure on the details just yet, though. Guessing you stopped before you could get the full picture. Both for your sake and ours. After all, you would have dragged us right into the mess of yours if we hadn't, or am I wrong? Would you have? Well, what can I say? Always nice to have a good source of information on your side. Plus, it's not like I wouldn't have upped your pay. You know, for crawling through the mud with us. It wouldn't have been enough. Not by a long shot. Look, Kevin, we know you. You'll be all gung-ho about getting the job done one second, then filled with regret the next. And frankly, even if we were to help, watching your sad mug mope around for a few weeks doesn't sound like my idea of a good time. Which is why this go-round, we're giving you the info you paid for us for and leaving it at that. Sure. Anyway, looks like it's about time we got going. See you around, Kevin. Try not to be too reckless, alright? If not for your own good, for the girls. Got it. You guys be careful too. They gave us a lot of good intel. No kidding. Guess they call them pros for a reason. By the way, Jack said he had something to take care of somewhere around the capital, right? Wonder what he was talking about. Wasn't our place to ask. About that or the friend they're giving their little souvenir to. Man, having connections can be a real pain in the arse sometimes, huh? They seem kind of worried about you, Kevin. It seems the threads of fate truly do entwine us all. At any rate, the information we received will be useful indeed. We should be able to use it to continue our investigation. Good grief. Alright, I think we should be good now. Especially with all the intel we got. What? It's about time we headed for Al Jumeirah. The Al Jumeirah. And Marielle and the princess are staying, right? Yep, they said they'd be heading back there once they'd finished at the hammam. To have a meeting with someone, I think. And since they're so kindly invited us to stop by whensoever we please, I doubt they'll mind a quick hello. Considering the group within almost certainly possess the information we seek, we should be sure to have all our cards in hand before making our approach, no? You're probably right. After all, I've heard the princess has got a pretty keen eye. Seeing as our same owes Professor Hamilton so much. Well, personally, I just want to see if we can get the princess to spill the beans without her catching on to us. Here's hoping. Alright, let's head on over once we've finished up with other business. These pigeons moved then. I saw them.
Hey, stop on by!
I will. At a later date.
This is the famous Jumeirah.
It is. Alright, you at the door, mate. Princess Sita asked me to give you all a message. She would like to speak with you. If you could, please proceed to the second floor. Al Jumeirah. This makes me feel like I've stepped into another dimension. So this is where Marielle and the princess are staying. Yep, they said they'd be coming back here once they were finished at the hammam. To have a meeting with someone, I think. And since they so kindly invited us to stop by whenever so we please, doubt they'll mind a quick hello. Considering the group within almost certainly possesses the information we seek. They kind of said all this a minute ago. We should be sure to have all our cards in hand before making our approach, no? You're probably right. After all, I've heard the princess has got a pretty keen eye. It's just what they said a minute ago. And seeing as Altera owes Professor Hamilton so much, well, personally, I just want to see if we can get the princess to spill the beans without her catching on to us. Here's hoping. Now I feel like we've got everything we need at the moment. I agree. I mean, after all the stuff we heard from Jack and Hal, we should be good to go, right? Alright then. We'll head in once everyone's ready. Yeah, this is just what they said a moment ago. It's like, whoa. Seems a bit odd. It is an honor for all of us to be able to welcome Princess Sita. Our hotel's largest shareholders are the Principality of Alsame and the Bank of Edith, after all. We hope you'll take this opportunity to enjoy Al Jumeirah to the fullest. We'll be hosting an event based on a film later today in the reception hall on the top floor, in addition to a talk show featuring a famous Z1 racer. There will also be an advanced screening of a new movie. Numbered tickets are required to attend, so if you are interested, please make your way back here when... Hey, is there gonna be food? Not as such. There will be free samples of a new energy... Wait, it's the same event we already saw in the city. Pass. These two are coming off meaner than they intend, I think. Not like we have time to look around anyway. We should go. An event for a new film will be held later in the reception hall on the top floor. I'm sorry, but there are no plans to serve food. We do look forward to your next visit. Bet you do. Bet you do. Bet you're more like, oh, please get out of here. Please, please get out of here. And leave me alone. I kept to check on those two, but it looks like I was worried for nothing. Count Yan is so reliable. I can rest easy knowing she's here to look after Tony. Watching them makes me miss playing around in the pool as a child. Wish I'd brought a swimsuit. Do they not have like any ones you could hire or anything? This hotel is quite something. Not that we're staying here. You can tell their service is top tier. The fact that they let us use the pool like this is evidence enough. Well, it's no surprise the tavern can't compare. It was a nice little treat. Tian, let's go that way. Not with your shoes on, Tony. And besides, your clothes will get wet. We can have plenty of fun in the shallows. Watch. Ha! Tian clasped her hands and squeezed them together, shooting water from the gap between them with great force. Whoa, how'd you do that, sis? It's like a squirt gun. Come here, I'll show you. Once you've learned this, you can pretend you have a squirt gun any time, you know? Even in the bath. You know, this is a really nice pool. Man, I wish I'd brought a swimsuit. I love swimming. Tony is so full of energy. I'm starting to get into this too. Since we're here, I should teach him some fun things to do in the water. Now then. Oh, we got people over there. I didn't even know this area was here. The kids are so energetic even in this heat. Chan there is keeping an eye on Tony. As an old woman, it's quite reassuring. Yes, indeed. Well, if it were a little cooler, I'd be liable to frolic in the pool too. Just as lively an old man as I've heard. That reminds me, Wang. Don't you run a bathhouse in Lungport? Right you are. Indeed, the Xianyu Tang is one reason people in the second ward are so healthy. After relaxing your body in our piping hot water and steam bath, you could practice martial arts and... Oh my, is it an Eastern style? I myself own an authentic Northern style, loyal. Yes, in terms of health effects, nothing beats herbs and vitas. Or vitas. Oh, you think so? In that case, why don't you show me what you've got sometime? Took the words right out of my mouth. Let's see if your bathhouse lives up to its reputation. Yes. I never imagined I'd be on tour with someone in the same line of work. As a bathhouse proprietor, getting to enjoy a Central Eastern hammam has been a stimulating treat. Oh, Angela operates a Northern-style bathhouse. I've had a hand in a number of businesses in the past, but now I focus solely on my bathhouse. I won't let her beat me. Perhaps I should introduce a Far Eastern flair to my establishment before inviting Angela to visit. Who else we got around? More dots upstairs. More dots, more dots, more dots. More dots. Staying away from them for now. We'll go with you. Actually, we'll start with you two. So, supposing a future wherein we join forces to govern the region, the first order of business would be to... I know Valis and Alsame are like allies, but it'd be nicer if their populations could get along too. What could we do to make that happen? I'm sure it would help trade become more attractive. Ah, yes. I mean, I can't say we know much about each other yet. Perhaps the two of us, for example, could travel and observe different countries. That's a great idea. My father's been a bit overprotective lately, so I'd love to set off without him for a change. Yes! Kalaya and I will finally have some time alone together. It's the same for me. Say, Kalaya, when you and I toured the continent... yeah, I'm stammering when it truly counts. Just how will Kalaya react? Yes, there are so many countries I'd love to study. Jeez, Mud, why are you so nervous? He could be so adorable. I feel like she still hasn't gotten the hint, but a trip with just Kalaya and I is still tempting. Well, there'll be plenty of chances for me to share my feelings in the future. I'll leave it there for now. Remiferia, the Edibonian Empire. So curious about the Liberl Kingdom to the west. What do you think, Munt? Yes, we should definitely come up with a concrete plan. For the sake of our future, too. Even though the region is called the Central East at large, there are many different cultures and features therein. It's truly a diverse region. There's international powerhouses like Alsame, nomads on the frontier, mountain tribes, and even coastal cities like Valis. Each one has its own ingredients and cooking techniques, giving a real sense of how intricate their cultures are. Patriarch Bashar, your son appears to be talking to Kalaya. Now that you mention it, they've always seemed close, but recently they've been much more involved. I hope you're not implying that you have an ulterior motive, Daha? I could say the same about you. You aren't having your son hit on Kalaya, are you? I'm not sure if you're a doting father or a fool. That said, I do wonder what Munt is actually thinking. It's unthinkable, but could Kalaya possibly have feelings for him? Let's call a truce for the time being. Before anything else, we need to assess the situation. We're in court then. There's also the matter of business, so I expect we'll be in contact for a while, huh? I like their attitude. Is like, let's keep an eye on our kids. Like, rather than business, let's keep an eye on them, see what's going on. You get it, don't you? First, we must check on the situation, and then... Yes, already. For my part, I must confirm my son's true intentions. They certainly seem close, but just how do they feel about each other? It's unthinkable, but I absolutely don't want to do anything that would make Kalaya sad. I like the fact they're like, oh, be like, no, we don't want to make them upset. It's like, oh, right, what's going on with you guys?
Mario! Zita! Everyone!
Nice to see you again. We're just dropping by to say hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's you two.
Miss Rain, how wonderful to see you again. And so soon after saying our farewells.
Kevin, Rufus, we must have just missed each other at the Hammam, huh?
Oh yes, how strange.
Probably, yeah. We've been on a pretty tight schedule lately.
Promise we meant to say hi, but we had a reservation to get to. For lunch, you see.
I believe introductions are in order, Your Highness. It is an honor to make your acquaintance.
Likewise. I'm Jita Osval, daughter of Grand Prince Salman of Elsheim. And this is my bodyguard, Najee Berka.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Father Kevin, Sir Rufus. Or perhaps you would prefer I call you Sir A.
A?
Now.
Looks like the jig is up. Would have been more surprised if it wasn't. Rufus is fine, thank you. Did you know it's actually one of the most common names in the Empire? Again, it's a pleasure, Your Highness. It's not every day a simple wanderer like myself has the opportunity to meet royalty, after all. I'm Kevin Graham of the Septine Church. Nice to meet you. By the way, I believe my colleague, Solis, was in your care a few months ago.
I beg to differ. We were almost certainly in her care. I'm Leslie Lam, a director affiliated with Kowloon Pictures.
So Father Kevin and Rufus, was it? I suppose you must be Lapis Rosenberg. You've heard of me? Well, yes, though only through the grapevine. You see, as a director, I often find myself researching current events, mostly to gather ideas for my next film, of course. And once I find myself with enough inspiration, all the fragments of information I've collected, well, I craft them into a story. There's no need to worry about me leaking anything confidential to general public, however. Everything's a product of my imagination, after all. Well, alright then. It's an honor to hear we contributed to your creations. Man, you're something else. A little too sharp for your average Joe, if you ask me. So I'm assuming you know my title then. Which one? Am I the only one not following? Wait, Rufus? Have I heard that name?
Oh? Talk about a crowd.
Hello? There you are. Glad to see you well, Miss Lou. You're... Ashen! Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since the festival.
Yeah. Long time no see, Swin, Nadia. And I suppose it's been a while since I've seen you three as well. Wait a sec. Are you Lapis? No way! You're even cuter than I thought you'd be!
Wait. I know, right? Hey, Swin, is she the daughter of the Lou family? Yeah. The same family who served as the White Orchid Dragon's benefactor, I assume. Well, before he split off to start his own. Interesting. So you're saying this new project of yours is a collaboration between Kowloon Pictures and the Principality of Alsame? That's correct. And the film currently being promoted, Perfect Driver Zero, that's a direct-to-Gotti film funded by Alsame as well, alongside Vegas Films, of course. It's quite the masterpiece, apparently. That's actually part of why I called this meeting. Not exactly keen on being left in the dust, you know? Whatever the reason, it's always an honor to work with such celebrated studios. And to think the production is being headed by the great director Lam. You know, I am just the biggest fan of Wolves Requiem. You made Wolves Requiem? We saw that earlier. But I admit, that was a pretty good flick. Can definitely see how it took the Lion d'Or last year. Right? And Nina was the perfect choice for the main character. She was so cute. Well, I'm happy to hear it's caught your interest. I'm here to cover the entire pre-production process, by the way. And hopefully, once I'm done, I'll be able to turn it into an editorial. But that'll make for an interesting read. I assume it'll be in the Tyrell Times, yes? Do you have any idea of when it would be published? Well, this is off the record, but around... Anyhow, this is quite a fascinating collection of faces. Though it looks to me like you five have been traveling together for a while now. Hanging out in the desert with a priest, though. Nadia, call me crazy, but that's not exactly my idea of a fun-filled vacation. I know. And the heat out here is the worst, too. But it gets an A in my book. The food's been amazing so far. Could you try not blowing all of my mirror, please? My wallet's looking a little worse for wear lately. Then allow today to be my treat. And of course, if there's anything else you need assistance with, please don't hesitate to ask. I consider our meeting today to be a stroke of fate. The choice of Steins Gate, as they say. Wait, didn't the CID have a mark on... never mind. As for me, I'd like to repay my debt to all of you for helping me on Nemeth Island. If you're in need of info, I'm willing to provide whatever I know. So he says. Well, what do you plan to do, Father Kevin? They've really got us backed against a cliff here. I think our only real choice is to jump. Is it just me or is nausea giving us the stink eye? Doesn't matter. If we want answers, we can't let ourselves be intimidated. That's right. So let the interrogation commence. Well, frankly, I'm glad to hear that. As I'm sure you've all figured out by now, I'm here on some official church business at the moment, and these four have been lending me a hand. This stays between us, but I've been tasked with looking into something for Her Holiness. Her Holiness? You mean Her Holiness Orestes II? This must be quite the job you're on. It is, yeah. But seeing as I can't exactly let you guys in on any of the details, afraid I'm gonna have to turn down the Office of Assistance. Instead, though, I think you all might answering some questions for us. That's yesterday. Please, ask us anything. Yeah, I'd be happy to answer. Well, as long as those questions aren't about insider info on Heiwei, of course. Much obliged. In that case, considering everything we know already, I should probably start by asking about their new film. Well, as long as everything's off the record, I'll leave the choice to you, Director Lam. Oh, well, I suppose I don't mind sharing a few details. The premise is a bit out there, though, I'll admit, but I don't think any of a studio but Cowling Pictures would do it justice. To put it simply, it's going to be a near-future sci-fi film. Allow me to set the scene. Year 1299 of the Septine calendar. Society has fallen into stagnation. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. Huh, strong start. Yeah, kind of spooky too. Sci-fi, short for science fiction, right? So do you mean to proceed with the dystopian tale of yours? Of course, why was there a triple dot there? Due to an unfortunate chain of events, humanity has not only lost civilization, but the favor of the goddess as well. It's a story about the bonds forged between humans as they tried desperately to survive in a cold, cruel world. A world dominated by monsters. Monsters appeared. And well, that's about the gist of it. That sounds amazing. Is there going to be any romance? Monsters, huh? It'll have some killer action scenes. Sounds like you're trying to pioneer an entirely new genre here. Though I'd expect nothing less from the great Director Lam. I know the story's a bit bleak, but Cowling Pictures thinks it'll be our biggest hit yet. And if we shoot in the deserts of Tharbad, the visual realism of it all will make everything just that much more impactful. Also like to film in the northern region of the Ishkal Mountains where the Kruger village is. I've actually already begun negotiations with their representatives to do so. Oh, isn't that where Fenny's from? I assume the east must be on your list of potential shooting locations as well, then? No, actually. While the rails do extend partway through the region, it's unfortunately much too dangerous to use as a shooting location. Professor Hamilton also warned us against doing so due to unstable weather conditions. There we go, there's some clues. Yeah, life sounds really rough out there. Apparently all their crops keep withering because it's always cloudy too. And heck, all those random tornadoes surrounded by lightning? I imagine the footage I could capture would be phenomenal. Afraid I'm not so willing to sacrifice my cast and crew. I could certainly see Director Gotti brute forcing it. However, if there's a will, there's a way. From what I've heard about the man, it sounds about right. I'd say we've ever had the pleasure of hosting him as a director, though. The elders wouldn't take too kindly to his tastes. Well, I think Vegas film suits him just fine. They do a simply phenomenal job at delivering on his directional intents. I'm actually hoping that he'll be able to adapt one of my favorite books someday. Have you ever heard of 3 and 9? You know, might be familiar with it. Oh, I'd love to see that. Don't think there's much in that one that Gotti can run with, honestly. That's not true. I mean, the heroine's sexy and cute. Audiences would love her. Take it down a notch, Nadia. The characters are 12 and 14, though, are they not? I imagine that would create an issue for the rating boards. Oh, I agree, which is why I would suggest he raise their ages and even flip their genders. And perhaps we could even give the main antagonist tentacles. Tentacles? Yes, as a girl, being subjected to all sorts of naughty things. Is it just me, or is it getting kind of warm in here? Naughty things? Okay, I think that's enough about that. Why are they in Farbad? Well, are you implying we're here for something other than this meeting? Not necessarily, just had a hunch is all. See, I happened to hear a bit of gossip through the guild recently. About last year's film festival, in fact. Someone requested they open their investigation on it. They wanted to know what really caused the chaos. We read about what happened in Van's case files. It was a drug making the rounds, right? We also learned that not only were Marielle and Director Lam in attendance, but so were Prince Sharid and his bodyguard, Narj Burka. And considering the nature of the drugs involved, can't say I'm particularly surprised a daughter of Heiwei would be interested in the matter. Okay, fine, you got us. The real reason we've gathered here is to investigate the drug Almata was peddling. I knew it. Were you the ones who asked the guild to reopen their investigation? That's correct, yes. Alsame has a particularly close relationship with the Braces, you see. Allow me to explain. In September of last year, we launched our own investigation into the drug. And not only did we manage to identify the manufacturers of said drug, but its key component as well. Yep. The cactus. In the end, they discovered that it was a type of agave plant, but no other specimens were found outside the one. However, seeing as Almata clearly had vast quantities of the drug, it's determined that they likely had a production center somewhere, underground somewhere. Given my knowledge of the film noir, Her Highness and Miss Lu thought I might have a few ideas on the matter. And now, I'd never claimed to be an expert on illegal substances, but I do know the cultivation of agave has been outlawed all across Sumeria. However, if someone wished to grow it regardless, they wouldn't need to do so in an arid climate, like the deserts of the Central East, or even the Eastern Wastelands, although Professor Hamilton deemed that particular possibility unlikely. You see, in order to aid its growth, the plant is said to extract a special component from septium veins, and given that the region is largely barren at present, makes sense. Think maybe Almaty got rid of all the places they were using to make the drug? You know, to hide the evidence? If that were the case, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. Yes, to clarify, I've been informed that the drug has made something of a reappearance recently. Oh, we're aware. And in the capital, no less. That's so. Is she talking about that thing Van dealt with? Those people imitating the DG cult, yeah. Apparently they weren't doing any of that stuff of their own volition. Now that I think about it, it sounds almost exactly like what happened at the film festival. They both even needed a trigger. I've heard Heiwei has been pursuing the incident in the capital as well. In which case, Arshan's explanation that they're exchanging info in addition to meeting about the movie is sound indeed. Yeah. Man, talk about some serious food for thought. Sadly though, I don't think we're gonna be of much help to you. We're looking into something completely different. And that's perfectly alright. Yeah, it's no big deal. We only ask that you get in touch with us as soon as you hear anything about Agave, okay? We'd be more than happy to reward you for your efforts, of course. Alright, your number's still the same one we got from Aaron. If we're talking rewards, I'd love a sweet treat from the East. Maybe something rare and unique. If you have any skincare products, I'd be more than happy to take them off your hands. Rather than insider info on Heiwei, I'd ask for any information you might have on the stock market. Have you people no shame? Kindred spirits, I say. The connection to Hamilton. Our connection to Professor Hamilton? Oh, for Alsame, she's practically our savior. We can't thank her enough for what she's done for us. Truth be told, Langport owes her a lot too. Red Star, the Newtown Project, the Great Spire, none of them would exist without her. Their very foundations were built on her accomplishments. Whoa, seriously? Oh, the Great Spire's gorgeous at night. I saw it when I visited last year. Surprised you even bothered to look. Figured you would have been too busy gorging yourself on Manto. You know the professor's name has come up an awful lot during this conversation. Not that much, really. Kinda sounding like you folks have been keeping in contact. Must be pretty close, huh? I'd like to think so. We met while I was working on a project as a technical supervisor. Suppose that was about 15 years ago now. She was incredibly kind to me despite her being in a position of authority. If I had any questions, she'd answer them in a heartbeat. As for me, I first met her at a conference in the spring. She was way more friendly than I was expecting her to be, and to this day she still replies to my old mails. I'm more grateful to her than you can imagine. I see. Doesn't seem like she knows anything about whatever business Hamilton had with Dingo, though. All that being said, however, I don't think her kindness is limited to us alone. She's shown her penchant for charity to people and places all over the world. Yeah, she's even kind to Yeye, of all people. And he, in turn, is kind to her. Well, I can't say I'm surprised to hear all that. After all, Master Burgard said the same. By the way, would any of you happen to know where she is at the moment? Unfortunately, no. But now that I think about it, I believe my brother saw her in Basel. Indeed. He met her on site around noon yesterday, but after that she's believed to have departed the city. Yes. I had no idea. Think she left for the Space Force's base? No. I don't actually. She's been avoiding interfering in the space operation out of consideration for her disciples. It's more likely than not that she left to join the festivities in the capital. Sounds like she's really got her hands full. With something. Oh, I just remembered a question I had. The construction work Professor Hamilton oversaw 20 years ago is why the Oasis is so full, right? But I was wondering, how exactly did they make that happen? Nice going, Lapis. Honestly, I don't think that question was intentional. Yeah, it's just like, oh wait, hold on, I'm wondering. Now that you mentioned it, it was supposed to be a pretty large-scale construction project, right? I've done some research on Tharbad for work recently, but I don't actually remember reading any details on what the construction entailed. I remember it being hailed as a matter of great significance at the time, but I don't believe I recall ever hearing any more on the subject. When I was younger, I saw a video of the Hail Oasis myself. I was immediately struck by the need to ask my father about it. After all, the engineering existed to generate vast amounts of water in the desert. Why not use it in other areas of the Central East, and the Eastern Wastes as well? As my father considers himself a close friend of the professor's, he presented the question to her in turn, and according to her,
the oasis is simply the result of a combination of factors.
What factors?
In order to have the same happen elsewhere, however, the area would need to meet the same specifications, both geographical and otherwise.
Otherwise?
Unfortunately, Your Majesty, I must ask that you not attempt a recreation.
She really said that? Do you mind if I write all this down? A combination of factors. What a fascinating choice of words. Awfully cryptic if you ask me. I can't imagine she was lying about any of it. End questioning.
Well, that was riveting. Can't wait to see that new film of yours, by the way.
Yeah.
Your Highness, everyone, I look forward to working together in the future. I am unsure of how much longer we'll be staying in the city, but if you find yourselves in need of aid, please feel free to visit us at our inn.
I'm afraid we're in much the same position, but I appreciate your offer nonetheless.
Personally, I mean to stick around for a few days, so I'd be more than happy to chat.
I'll probably be busy gathering material, but if anything important comes up, just give me a ring, okay? You guys said you still have the number Aaron gave you, right? Do you want my orb mail too?
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Okay. It's hard to believe that the whole Argave ordeal is happening again. Ashen, Kevin, everyone. Triple dot. Ooh. Triple dot. Triple dot. If you learn anything else about the Argave, please let me know. You're an interesting lot, so I hope we'll continue to build a good relationship. The professor visited our nation many times and even had tea with me in the palace. She's always so busy flying all over the place, but I hope we'll be able to spend time together again someday. Triple dot. Seems you're all working toward a goal. Yeah, I think you've got an idea of what we're after. I hope it goes well, as long as you don't cause trouble in this region. Yes, ma'am, we'll keep that in mind. Yes. Talking with all of you has been inspiring. I wonder if I can use our conversation somehow for the near future science fiction movie I'm planning. A lone wandering priest visits the desert to hunt down the secrets of a ruined world, something like that. Please don't model the guy after me without my permission, okay? You say that, but you seem pretty flattered to me, Mr. Onion. Talking with all of you has been inspiring. I wonder if I can use our conversation somehow for the near future science fiction movie I'm planning. Indeed. So I'm assuming our next port of call... Kind of feel like they saw right through us, but at least we got some good leads out of it. Feel like Vegas Films would be a good idea to go with next. And, you know, I'm actually pretty curious about the new film they were talking about, yeah. Big stuff that was what we learned about the Arcgave and everything they told us about Professor Hamilton. Can't help but feel we're missing the final piece of the puzzle, however, where the Arcgave was made. Well, the drug was made with the Arcgave. Agreed, but once we get that, finally have the full picture. So what's our next move, Kevin? Well, if that drug's the key to all of this, it's probably best we talk to the people who were actually there for the film festival. In that case, we should speak with Shahina. I believe she was the one of the many who fell under its influence. And actually, she wasn't. But according to Van's report, anyway. What caused her many was a mask, like in Crossbow. And I think Melchior stole the one that was used on Shahina, though. And that guy was a real piece of work. What's done is done, I guess. Anyway, hey, we're off to chat with the girls, right? That's the plan. Come on, let's head over to the Cultural District. I think they should be starting rehearsals soon. Oh, how exciting. I can't wait to see that performance. Okay, well, we'll see about that soon enough. Speak to you first. I was a bit surprised to see you with the daughter of a Hayway elder. You seem to be close with Princess Sita, so I doubt there's any problems from a security standpoint. Still, the fighting power of those guards seems a bit excessive. At least let me provide some hospitality. Right, so I'm thinking we'll use this as a place for us to end this part, and in the next part we'll see about heading back over towards...
How about a shard search?
Where the dancing will be taking place. Again, I feel like we're heading to Vegas Films at some point, heading back underground, maybe get some more clues there. That to me feels like a place we haven't looked at yet. Because we know there was an underground area there, like maybe there's some clues there. Maybe Shahina can get us in there. Maybe. Anyway, we'll see you in the next part. Ta-ra for now.